guys? Mulligans and Hackers, back for season 2 of our guest podcast with Alvin and Chris. And we got Mack for our first guest this year again, right, Alvin?
Yep, Mack joined us. This is going to kind of be an ongoing thing where Mack jumps on our first guest podcast every year. So he was good enough to come back and jump on and have a chat.
Yeah, and it was unfortunately I wasn't able to make this podcast because life calls, and I got called out to work about 20 minutes before we were supposed to start our podcast. But
it was the first time I soloed a guest podcast, but as you'll see, Mack really jumped in and did really well as a guest host.
Yeah, and I think everyone's going to enjoy the podcast. So I think without further ado, here's the podcast with Mack and Alvin for our first guest podcast of the 2022-2023 season.
Perfect. Enjoy.
Whatever.
All right. Giver, if you're the guest.
Welcome to Mulligans and Hackers podcasts, episode number.
Well, this is our first podcast, season 2, episode 1.
Season 2, episode 1 of the Mulligans and Hackers podcast. I'm here with Mulligan and King Hacker Alvin Paul.
That's me, and I'm happy to have Mack from On the Screws podcast here as guest
I'm not usually a guest. Yeah, I don't know how to be a guest, so that was I just jumped in and did the intro, but a little soundbite for myself, I guess.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. That's cool. I like it. We'll use that.
What do you got for us? We're just kind of talking shop, talking a little.
We were talking a little bit of golf. Chris is not here with us. This is like first time I've been solo doing this, but life gets in the way, and he couldn't join us for this one. But I guess you and I got a lot to catch up on, anyways.
We do. It's been a little while. We talk often through Instagram, you and I. But
yeah, we communicate quite a bit. So
but the golf world is so today, actually, while we're recording this, October 30th is the last day at my track. They closed us up. Won a money game today, so that was good. But that's it. So I got to find some golf somewhere else for the next couple of weeks until the snow hits the ground.
Well, ours closed last weekend. Sunday was the last day, but Saturday and Sunday was such poor weather here. We didn't get out. So I think Wednesday.
Of course, like it's just closed, no reopening, no like if it's nice, they're gonna open it up.
They're gonna get the tarps on the greens now and ready for the winter because that'll show up pretty fast, right?
Yeah,
especially out here in this area, right? We did have a sprinkling of snow last week. Didn't stick, but that's what's coming. So.
I feel like it got to us so fast this year. I don't know. The
year just went by. You know what? Fast. I played so much golf this year. 100 plus rounds. That's Mulligans and Hackers tour, and just us playing like 3-4 times a week. Like this was our major hobby this year. Like last year we played a lot, and again we're just feeling our way through it because again I still say we're relatively new in the golf world. So, but this year was like when we were done work, our golf course, like our home course, is 3 minutes away from where I work.
Yeah.
When you're done work, I usually get done around 4. It's scoot down over the hill at the golf course, get in the golf cart, and go out and do 9, 18. And we've always got guys around too. So, or I went out a few times solo this year. That's different, especially if you have a group in front of you. You drop a couple balls, and then you're literally getting in some practice, right? Like trying shots from certain places and stuff.
Well, that was the thing, because like where I was this year, they got rid of our range, which they're redoing a lot of stuff at the course. So next year they're gonna have like more practice facilities and stuff built in. I'm at Port Hope, great little track for anybody listening. If you're in Ontario, come check it out. But yeah, so earlier in the season, I got out and played quite a bit on my own, and then I was on paternal leave for a little while, so I was golfing every day, bringing the little guy out there. And once he got old enough, well, because I haven't told the story on your pod, I should tell my hole-in-one story. Bringing my little guy out to the course and making an ace, 191 yards into hole goes directly into the lake. So made a really cool ace with him out of my first round, pushing him out in the stroller, which was awesome. That was very cool. Hard to beat that.
That's a memory that goes a long way.
That'll be the best golf shot, my favorite golf shot I'll ever hit in my life.
You can't
I think if something happened in my golf game and I like rolled in a putt to win the Masters, maybe that would be along the same lines, but I don't think that that's coming for me. So good luck beating a hole in one with your like 4-month-old son in the on the card. I just had some like, I had the sticks in his stroller and stuff. It was cool. So I just looked like
That's
that
awesome.
degenerate
So
golf dad out
was it
there, but
191?
191, yeah. Yeah,
What club did you
really
use?
6-iron. Really nice,
Yeah.
really nice. I was downwind a little bit. And like it kind of funnels up, and so I hit like a little stock draw up there and stuff. And the green's like glass. You can't see it because the lake is right behind it. And there's a really big pond in front of it. So I heard it land, and I had another guy in my group. I think his name was Peter. I played with him a bit at the start of the year, and yeah, so I couldn't see it go in, but I walked up there, wasn't short of the green. I knew like yardage wise that that was a good club for me. So I had a really good feeling it was in the hole, and it was in the hole, which is pretty cool. So
Nice.
that was my second. I got one when I was like a kid on like a small 100 and something yard hole.
Yeah, I've
So
got one on. We have a par three here, and before I even started golfing, and before I was even in the game, one of the rounds, 120 yards, just kind of
yeah,
duffed one off the tee box that just rolled out and rolled in the cup. And I was there with my dad and my sister, and the marshal was just right down next to the green, and he just kind of looked up, gave me a golf clap, and just drove away. And I was
yeah,
like, I dropped the club, and I'm like, well, that's a hole in one. Like, do I get
yeah,
excited? Like, what's going on? Again, I didn't even know the game because again, I didn't grow up with the game, and when we moved up here to Alberta in 92, 93, like I think I watched golf twice on TV. So I did again, and just going to a par three because it's like, well, at least the hole's not far away. I don't know how to hit these things, right?
right.
So it was kind of a fluke.
That was like my first year. Like I think it was my first year of golf, and I was like with my mom, and the marshal actually rolled up. I hit I think I hit like a 7-iron. It was like one again, it was like 13, 12, 13, and I think it was like 120 or something like that. Same type of thing. And I just like landed on the green, then I like curled around, dropped, and yeah, I was like pretty happy as a kid, right? I was like so happy, but I didn't realize how significant that was that moment
And
because
I
I've
have
now
to
been
give a shout
chasing
out
that for
to Clark here. Clark is the guy that won our chase for the cup this year. He went to Edmonton and got his first hole in one.
yeah, right on, Clark. Like Brycer and I have been talking to so many people. Like when we'll have like a couple pros on and stuff like that. And it seemed like we had 2 or 3 in a row that made like their first ace or made an ace just after being on the pod. So we were, yeah. Anybody listening, I host and co-host for On the Screws podcast. So
Yeah. So if you want a
get
hole in
what
one,
Justin
just
needs.
jump on the podcast.
Yeah, jump on the pod and we'll get you a hole in one. So, that's kind of like we've formed almost so many stories based on that. We want to build a hole in one episode where we just get a bunch of people. I just need the time to edit it, but
Right.
a bunch of people on having the conversation of what their hole in one was like. I think that would be such a cool
That
episode
would
if
be
they did
actually
that one or
that'd be
more.
sweet. Yeah,
I've
that
got
would
like a
be.
buddy like who has like 7 or something. Like it's insane. Like I don't know how that happens. And yeah. Buddy of mine, Kirk, shout out to Kirk. He just got his first one on the first day of a bachelor party. So it was a pretty expensive hole in one. So
So it wasn't
um
too liquored up to start.
not to start, but shortly after that hole,
Yeah.
he was yeah in blackout mode, maybe. I don't know. So it was a little bit of an expensive hole in one, but I asked him, I was like, would you obviously you wouldn't trade it for like $2,000, $3,000 bar tab? And he said, of course not. Like you're gonna just
Yeah, you're gonna
yeah,
take.
you're gonna just enjoy it. You gotta just enjoy it, right? So but yeah, this year was pretty cool for that. And I actually had a hole out as well for an Eagle 2, which was cool. So did that on hole number 10 at Port Hope. I actually like ripped the driver, so it's a drivable it can be like in a bit of like a speed shooter, like there's a lot of wind that comes out the lake. So either you're into the wind or you're behind it. I think it's like 330 or something. I have a card near me, but in around there. 330 yards. So if you like get it downwind, you can get it there. And so I was like taking a rip at it, and there's like train tracks up the right hand side. There's a tree, like one dead tree that's like standing there on the right hand side. And so I was telling you about my like safety pull or whatever you want to call it. So I end up like ripping the thing
Baby draw, I think, is sounds more like a golf term that we'd use.
baby draw, and then when I can't when I'm not flexible enough to hit it, I just end up like ripping the ball 30 yards to the right. So I hit it what I thought was on the train tracks. So we're like drive up, my partner Mike hits his shot, and then we drive up and say, "Oh man, like there's a ball here." And I go up, it's my ball. I was actually like testing out a Bridgestone at the time, so it's now in the case above me, which is pretty cool. But so I was like, well, free life here. Like I'm pretty happy. And I had 112 in, and I think I hit a 56 or 52, one or the other. One hopped it into the cup. And it was pretty cool. Some of the guys that play in our money game on Saturday morning were on the next tee, the fourth tee, which is in behind it. So yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool eagle too. I haven't really done that in a long time. I can't remember the last time I made one of those from like around 100 yards out. So that was fun. A lot of fun. Very cool.
I don't think so. Last year I had, I think I had 3 eagles, 5 chances at eagles last year. No eagles this year, but I did have way more
Yeah.
chip ins from, we'll say, fringe within, 10, 15 yards from the pins. I had way more of those this year than I ever had
Yeah.
last year, but no eagles this year. Couldn't get myself in the position. Driver was an issue.
I had a few like eagle opportunities from so Port Hope is like it's very tight, like Port Hope Super Old course, like sixth oldest in Canada or something. Super tight. It's like only 60, 700 yards or something. So it's like not that long, but it is it's mean, man. It's got some teeth. The greens are so tough, but
Yep.
I had I'd driven the green at least 10 or 11 times this year, like so like multiple different greens, but you like some of the shorter par fours are like around 330, and like you can catch it in like some slots where it'll run out and you can kind of get it up there. And I can think of like 4 or 5 times that I drove a green and made par. Like it's just so unfortunate, but like three putted for a par. So that's the unfortunate part about golf. And I
Mhm.
did not once make an eagle two from any of those. So I had one close the other day, like last weekend on our 17th hole. You can like cut the corner, and I was playing in a match, a money game, and I think I'd already lost the game. So I just like ripped a driver on the corner, and I had like 12 feet or something, and I left it just on the edge of the cup. I was really hoping that that would have fallen, but yeah, that's kind of why we play the game now. So
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you're
We
listening,
like after our season was done, we still played a lot of golf,
yeah,
and that was a blast. And we were, and I believe truly we were getting better and being able to manage because we have a few courses around here. I think in town we have close to town. There's Red Cliff, Desert Bloom, Medicine Hat Golf and Country Club, Connaught, Cottonwood, which is our home course. So there's like 5,
right,
and I've never really played well at any of the the larger courses, the par 72s, we'll say the longer courses, because our Cottonwood is par 66, and it's just under like 5,000 yards from the tips, so it's not an overly long course, but again, it's got teeth for guys like us. It can get in our heads real fast, and your
yeah,
score can get out of hand real fast. But I shot an 87 at Red Cliff my second round out there this year, and um, I think I was 11 over after the first 9.
damn, that's all right.
And I really cleaned up on the back 9. And actually, for the rest of the year, I think that boosted my confidence so much that I could actually play this game.
Yeah,
Play this game to my expectations, which as an 18 handicapper, 16 handicapper, wherever, whatever day my handicap app tells me what I'm at. That was really, that was a boost.
yeah,
You're hitting the par fours, long par fours, in 2 shots, and you're getting up there with a chance for a birdie. And, for me, putting has always been an issue, and probably always will be an issue. Because I go through
lifesaver.
again. Again, that's why Chris plays so well. Chris plays so
Yeah,
well because he can putt. I mean, I don't know if you saw that reel that I posted on the Instagram of him.
yeah,
He hit 3, but he hit 3 balls. The first one's is the rangefinder. The next one is outside the ball. The next one's inside the ball, and he's bumping them off the flagstick. Right?
yeah,
That's how he competes, because his driver spray and pray, but he hits it a long way. Right? But if he can get on the green in 2, he can really rescue himself with his putting. And I'm totally the opposite. Like my putting will absolutely handcuffed me for a whole day. But you know, and again, we talked earlier before we even came on about recognizing what's in the bag and recognizing what's working, what's not working, and
Oh, I know.
playing enough to adjust. Right, like I told you the story about the 6-iron wasn't working, so I went and got a hybrid that was kind of around the same loft, and it immediately, on the course that we play, it immediately changed my game because I needed that shot for about 6 when we're playing from the tips for about 6 shots on that course, and I could never get myself in position with the 6-iron. But with the hybrid,
you think it just gets you up there a little higher? You get a little like you
straighter,
just drop it a little softer, hit it straighter, more
like my long,
forgiveness.
like the 6-iron was just that, and it wasn't just a fade; it was a slice, and it would never get me. I was always chipping back, coming back.
Figure out how to hit this safety slice all these people talk about. I feel like I need that as a lefty. I don't know, man. I don't know. This year, like you were talking about your round there, hitting a 11 over on the front, so you cleaned it up pretty good on the back. So I won't do the math for anybody listening to this pod, but I shot an 81 with a 33 on the front this year. So
okay.
So anybody, go ahead and do your own math on that one. And
our number one rule is golf's hard, dude.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I remember like the 9th hole, I could not find. I hit a really good tee shot. I actually hit like a pretty reserved like 5-iron or something, short par or 4, and I was just off like in the left rough somewhere. I couldn't find it. Like I was like a foot in, and I couldn't find it. And I was like, all right, like 3 minutes goes by, I'll take a drop. I took a drop and almost holed out from like 120 or something. So I was just like, okay, today's the day. Like I still made par from 120 yards out, and I ended up getting to the next hole. I went 5-iron off the tee, hit that OB, hit the next 5-iron OB. So I ended up like my dispersion looked great, but I pretty much gave up on the round at that time. So
well, it was kind of funny because when we at Redcliffe after the first 9, I looked at Chris and said, I think I'm done. I've got my shots in for today, and I was kind of well, I'm here, and so then I went out and did the back 9 and kind of cleaned it up on the back 9, which was again
that's how golf goes, right? Like I remember I like was so upset after that hole, like not upset, like I don't really get upset, so I'm always like smiling on the golf course. I'm having a good time. I don't really give a don't really care, but so we go down to the 11th hole, right? So it's a par 3. It's like really nice hole over some water, and I think I was hitting like probably like a 7-iron. Usually it's a club 8-iron, something like that. So I like hit this huge like slinging like emergency pull like into the water. So I was like, okay, now I'm like at this point I'm like +3 or something on the back already, and I'm only through a hole.
Clubs.
You got all your golf clubs there.
Yeah.
And yeah, you get such a better backdrop than me. But so then anyway, so I hit that same 7-iron or whatever the club was to the exact same spot. Like it still fell within the ripple of the ball before in the pond. So I was just like, I should have gone to the drop zone. But at that point, I was like, this round's over. I suck at this game. I hate it. Like I was 1 under on the front. It's a 34, 36. So I'm kind of giving away what so it's a par 70, 34, 36. So then I hit another one, man. So I was like, I don't care. I'm not going to the drop zone. So I hit another one. I hit it to like an inch off the edge of the cup. And I was like, for the love of God, do not go in. Like, please do not go in. Like that would have been the worst. It would have been the best and worst story to have to tell anybody. But like I'm sitting there with the guys in the group and they're just howling. Like, so yeah, I almost holed out for 5 on a par, like 170-yard par 3. Luckily I took my 6, and then I think I made a triple on the next hole, and then I just like blew it up from there. Yeah. So it was a really tough back 9. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Golf sucks.
Golf's hard.
I love it, but it sucks. It's pretty cool.
Again, that's like I'd have such a bad round and be so, and I do get angry. So get so angry walking off the course, going, man, I can't wait to get back here tomorrow and try it again.
Yeah, it's just like glutton for punishment, whatever you want to call it.
But again, for us, like for our crew and where we are, this is what we do. Like we go down to the golf course and me and Chris, we went after our season was over, and we went to a couple of places outside of town. And this place, Burstall, Saskatchewan, it's a little course ran by the town, and it's 9 holes. It has 2 really long par fives on it, and we did 36 in the morning. Went for lunch at like literally the only restaurant in that little town, and then went back and did 18 in the morning. Sorry, went for lunch and then went back and did 18 in the afternoon.
I think I remember you guys posting that there's like a little shack that you went to for lunch or something. It was Blue or something. I don't know. I remember you guys. I remember
Chevy's
seeing that.
Is the name of the restaurant, so shout out to Chevy's, because we've eaten there a few times, and that's a fantastic little place. And again, it's a little community golf course. It's out in the middle of a farmer's field. I mean, it's prairie. They take care of the fairways. They do a really good job with the greens, and it's literally out on a farmer's field, and there's not too many trees and not too many obstacles. There's no water on that course. There is a little man-made pond towards the end there. I'll give you that.
Yeah, probably got a little something, but
yeah, that was. I mean, we like that. I mean, that's what we do, right?
That's why I love Port Hope.
Golf, man.
We get to stare at the water though, like for 6 or 7 of the holes. It's great. Like we're right on the lake, which is cool. And it's a big lake. Lake Ontario is massive, right? Like middle of summer, it looks like you're at a destination. But yeah, that's kind of like sums up the golf year. Had some really good I don't know, like we got a good group of guys there, 20 of us or so. We play a little cash game on Saturdays and Wednesdays, so it was fun. A lot of fun. So won some, lost some, and then we had our little like league closing or whatever, which my buddy Kirk came out with me, and we had a 2-man like scramble or something. We finished second, so that was pretty good. I was pretty happy with that. And then we had our men's league. We had our men's league this year, Alvin, and I won.
No way.
I won our men's league, which was cool. And then I get there and realize that we get to the clubhouse or whatever and realize that there was an app that you had to input your scores in all year. And I was like,
do it.
Nobody in our group knew. And I was like, I just went out and fired an even par using my handicap. I was like, so I think I was like -3.5 on the front or something like that. I don't know, or 1.5 on the front. And so I did not win. So I was like, damn.
Listen out there to everybody. If you need to post scores, post them.
Well, so I guess because we have Golf Canada and stuff, so I thought everybody in my group, like all my playing partners, we all just thought it was based off Golf Canada because that's what we play everything else off of. And there's apparently some app that they use, so I'm gonna have to try and use that app next year because so it was there was like I don't know, probably 100 of us guys there, and half of it was like a single net, 9-hole single net, and then a 9-hole scramble, and we like absolutely dusted the scramble. Me and my team, we were 10 under through 9, and it was really good. We were like we had 2 eagles and
scrambles this year with some of our crew, and we did well in the scrambles. We did the Halo. Halo scramble here, and I think we were 12 under for that one. We were 10 under through 9.
Yeah, we had a par, 2 eagles, and birdied the rest. We were 10 under through 9. It was insane. We started off. It was a shock, and we started off on like the 17th. My buddy Sean there, shout out to Sean. It's his birthday today, so happy like 95th birthday, Sean. But he ended up dropping like on the 17th hole, man. He ended up dropping like a 30-foot putt. Like I think he went first too, and it was a bender. And we get to the 18th hole, and like so the 18th hole is one of the toughest holes on our course. It's like long. We had like a 50-foot putt, and he dropped that too to start. And then we had to like go play the single net, and we were like, okay. I ended up like getting the meat dog, I think, on the first hole and the second hole of the single net. And then actually no, I think somebody got in front of me in the first. So like closest to the pin. They had it on all the different holes. I definitely got the second one. But so Sean was on fire, and then we ended up having to start it up again, the scramble on the back. It was kind of a weird layout, but weird structure that we went 2 holes, 9 holes, and then the last 7. So, but it was cool. We had a lot of fun. It was really good.
They are fun, man. And we sent a crew out to the Rolling Hills Scramble, and they played really well out there, and just finished outside of the money. And that's something that we do too now. Is we try and get more and more into that, like a little bit more competitive golf. And I say competitive golf, but scrambles are what they are. So
yeah, man, scrambles are so much fun though. It's like
fun.
late in the season, like you get out and play a little cash scramble. It's a blast. Like I feel like I play really well on them because I play really well when I'm loose, and usually I can hit like in most groups I can hit like number 3 or 4. I can go like last or second last or so, and I hit a long ball off the tee, and I can roll it pretty well too. So, it always just kind of like frees me up a little bit. I feel like I always
agree.
Play well scrambles,
we have a couple of long ball hitters again, Chris and Darren. Jacob can hit the long ball too, and they're all kind of spray and pray. Where my fairway shot, my nickname is fairway finder and dead putt. So
yeah.
I can drop a ball out on the fairway, and then the guys can go for it. But when we hit the greens, man, I'm getting out of the way first. And
why is that? You just got no touch, no feel? What is it?
Talk
to me, Alvin. Let me help you.
I don't
Let's
know,
have
man.
a sit down, lay down on the couch here. The couch is putting. We're gonna work this out over the next few
First
minutes.
off, green reading is sketchy at best.
Okay.
And
so when you go through your pre-shot putting routine, what's it look like for you right now? Like, what do you
walk up to the green, get over the ball, and just try and get off the green as fast as possible?
Okay.
Now,
all right.
I say that, but when we're actually playing in our leagues and stuff and doing the tour dates, I usually get down and have a look at it, try and step back and see which way the green is sloping as a whole.
Okay.
And then, I just get over it. And a lot of it for me, I think, Mac, actually has to do with the confidence in the stick and in your hand. You know, the putter itself. Like, you know, when I'm looking down on the putter, I used a sub 70 006 Sycamore milled face for most of the year, and I like it.
It's kind of like mine. It was kind of like the Del Mar model.
And I like that style of putter. Like I like looking down at like a blade type putter, and but a milled face and all this stuff, it just doesn't work for me. Like it literally doesn't work for me, and I try to fight it all the time because last year I used a Tommy Armour Silver Scott, just an old blade type putter because I like those things. But in my since the season ended and I started getting into some other putters like the insert putter, the putter that has that insert on the face,
like an Odyssey or
like some putters. Like I'm using a Nike right now that has an insert and it's kind of got a half moon back. I find with the insert,
you gotta send me a photo of that. I gotta see that. That's pretty cool.
It's nice. A buddy let me have it because again he's listened to me bitch and complain about putters the entire freaking year. So yeah, we were talking about the putter and it's just I really play well with a mallet 2-ball.
That's what I was gonna say. Does anybody like roll a spider in your group or anything like that or something?
Chris has a Maltby, I believe it's called, and I've tried that one a few times, and I roll the ball way better. But I just aesthetically, when I'm looking down at it, it's like looking at a piece of 2x4 at the end.
A little spaceship, yeah,
right. And I want neat, tidy type thing, but I do putt way better. Pace wise and rolling wise, with a 2-ball mallet.
You get like a little Will Zalatoris in your backstroke.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah.
So the mallet definitely would like clean that up a little bit. So for me, like I've got a pretty old school putting stroke, and I just have never changed it. I actually have like, I don't know, mine's like pretty unique. Like I got a grip in my hand here, and I have this double overlap putter grip and I use a pistol grip. So this is like similar to what I use, like something very thin. And man, like I've used that my whole life. I never change it. And whenever I meet people, like that is one of the things they say, like I roll it pretty well. So if it ain't broken, don't fix it. But I've got kind of like like there's a lot of different stats that go out with putters now, trying to bring it straight back, straight forward, or if you have like a little arch, I have like a little arch in my backstroke, I guess. Like, but you got to go with what's comfortable, man. And but you have to visually like what you're looking at.
That's where I'm at. I want to like what I'm looking down there at because again, you use the putter for pretty much half of your strokes in the round anyway. So.
Oh no, it's very important, man. What about like a square back or something? You ever try anything with like a beefier square back? Like I'm thinking, yeah.
Again, it's going to take a while to figure this out because I've gone through the Super Stroke 3.0, 2.0, the pistol grip.
Use something like a little bit fatter to kind of
yeah. So what I'm using,
it'll take your hands out of the stroke.
Yeah, what I used most of the year was the Super Stroke 2.0. Last year I had a 3.0 on the putter that I used. Right now there's a pistol grip on the method that I'm using. But I like it. I found that I do putt better with that style of putter with an insert. You know, a little bit of it's got a half moon back on it. I like it, and I'll probably try and hunt for something like that when I go to actually finalize what I want to do here. But
yeah, man, I've been rolling that Del Mar for so long, and I got my buddy Chris down at Custom Clubs to redo it, and that thing looks amazing. Like I've posted photos of it, so I actually have 2 of them, and I gave my backup gamer to a buddy of mine, so he begged for it. But I've become a bit of a putter collector over the last little while. I know we're running short on time. We got another call coming up, but it's been a lot of fun, man. But I just can't get off the Del Mar.
I'm really enjoying. Yeah. I am enjoying now that we play a lot of golf and we have friends that have just trying different things.
Yeah.
You're not really, let's say, stuck into what you have, but you have alternatives to go and give something a whirl for around here and there. And and it's just part of growing in the game too, because we're still relatively new. I say, right?
I don't know how long I'm going to give you this pass for, Alvin.
I know, buddy. I know. I've put it out there a few times. I like to say I'm still a noob, but
you played 170 rounds or more in the last 2 seasons, so I'm not sure how new you are anymore.
I like to say I'm new because of the scores that I post, but
let's get that thing down to a single by mid next season. When you hit 250 rounds, we got to be talking a single for sure. So.
Yeah.
Also, handicaps. Anybody listens to my pod.
I did get a few rounds in the single digits this year, +6, +9 type thing. And those were good rounds. And again, you just see that a little bit of progress, right?
Yep.
So,
for sure. You just gotta take away. If you're floating around high teens, that means you're having some really bad holes. If you have the ability to have
I have my
in the singles, you just gotta limit that damage.
Where we play, if guys like us, we get out of position where we're in trees or in rough or whatever, for us those shots aren't always there for us, to recover. Yeah. So that kind of puts us behind, right?
Right.
But other than that, I mean, fairway to greens, we're pretty good. We're getting there.
Yeah, so Alvin will be a 9.5 handicap by the end of the 2023 season. You heard it here first.
Okay,
we got a ways to go, but we'll get you there.
Yeah,
we'll get you there. Honestly, you would shave 4 or 5 strokes with that many rounds. You get that putting down, and you'll definitely, it'll make things a lot better.
Conveniently, we have simulators here for the winter, so we're going to hit some simulators this winter. We got some time, so at least get out once a week, still swing the clubs, keep that motion going, and keep enjoying it.
Similar weather, buddy, but we're heading into our off season here, so this was fun. Let's do it again. Keep us
buddy,
golf throughout the winter.
And again, it's nice to have you on so that you can talk about your golf. We talk about our golf. When you're not doing the hosting of the podcast, you can just go and talk about your golf and everything you want to do.
Yeah.
I think we might have to do this again before this winter is out, so that we can get caught up what's in the bag, and maybe talk some tech, some new gear, and see what you're liking out there.
I hit that Stealth Plus this year, and I hit it pretty well. That was about the only big change I had in my bag since I think I was on first. I don't change too much. I might look at some new irons and stuff in the next little while, but I really like my setup right now. So I am a gear guy. I definitely like the tech and but the Stealth was the only new piece. So I added MG3 wedges. I don't know if I was playing those when I was on last. I think I had Bokeh. So went to TaylorMade wedges, and they were actually super nice. Really, really nice. So
Chris has the Haywoods out of BC.
I had those. Yeah, I hit those. Yeah. Joshua Haywood's actually going to be on our pod in the next little while. So
nice.
Next few weeks. So great guy. Joshua is doing some really good things at Haywood.
Just really dialed those in. And again, he got hurt early in the year with the torn Achilles, and it really put him behind the 8-ball when it came to playing. But towards the end of the year, those wedges were more money, dialed in.
Yeah. Nice to so kind of support the Canadian brands and
You
stuff
bet.
too.
You
That's
bet.
that's a big thing about what our pod is about. Like I know Bryce is living in the States, but he's from Canada, and I would say, 2/3 of our guests are probably Canadian right now. We're getting more into half. We've been getting into a lot of NCAA golf and stuff lately, and a couple like PGA Tour Canada, PGA Tour LA, and like a lot of the mini tour golfers down in the States. So it's
I
been kind
wanted
of
to give
cool.
you a shout out too, but congrats on the 100th episode.
Yeah, that was cool, man.
Yeah,
100th
man.
episode.
That shows a
Should have
lot of
started.
dedication, dude. That's big
Yeah.
props. That's a lot of dedication to doing what you do.
Man, we haven't missed a Friday in 104 now. So
It's wild.
if you're still listening to us on this podcast, would appreciate you guys go over check us out on the Screws podcast on
Mack has
YouTube.
been a big supporter of ours since we started this endeavor
Yeah.
a year ago, and again, it's been a year since you've been on, and let's not go another year.
Yeah, time flies though, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
and so like we only did a few podcasts for we'll say season 2 this year because we played a lot of golf.
Yep.
And if no offense to the podcast world, but if I was going to record a podcast or play around the golf, I'm playing around the golf.
It's a lot of work, man, to do pods. It's more than
and again, that's why I say a lot of props to you and everybody else. We have some other podcasts that we're friends with, and we've done some work with, like Save Par Podcast and stuff. And I think guys that do that regularly, man, that's dedication and a real dedication to the craft of podcasting, because we're just hacks, part-time guys. And,
it's a lot, man. It's a lot, but it's a lot of fun too, right? And we make
fun.
a lot of friends too, man. We make a ton of friends, a lot of really good connections.
Since we started this, man, I mean, we chat with people all the time, like, and not just yourself. Like we chat almost every week. Other guys too, that just like what we're doing when it comes to like the tour with buddies and stuff, and just getting in at our age, getting into golf and where we are and what golf can do for dudes to just have a hobby.
Yeah.
And golf is growing huge,
man. Huge sport. So much fun too. Anybody can play golf, right? So
right.
if you're new to the game, and you want to ever chat golf, come over and talk to one of us. And
we're here for it, man.
Yeah. Just don't talk to Alvin about your putting.
Well, you could talk to me about your putting because I might be able to get some pointers.
That's true. Even if you're brand new.
You might. You're probably still going to be a little. We'll probably be even on the putting green.
I like
you're
it.
just brand new. So.
But we'll do this again soon, man. This was a lot of fun. We'll get Chris on there, and we'll try and get Bryce or try and get him, and we'll just.
It would be nice to get the star of the On the Screws podcast on here, the real star. Once that was so. Bryce, if you're listening, we know you're the star of the pod.
I love hearing that. Oh my God, this guy logs on 4 seconds before every interview, logs on 4 seconds after every interview.
Oh, when you're a star, that's kind of it, isn't it?
That's it.
And, you're rolling up and doing your job and getting out of there, and leave the hard work to the second in command, right?
Hey, one of the things that we got this year too, I don't mean to give us a little plug, but we got 100,000 downloads too, which was insane, man. I saw that pop up.
Crazy.
That was wild. That was really cool.
We just got our 500, and
that's cool, man. Hey, it's
a milestone for us.
For sure. Like the first, it took a little while to like really get a bunch of traction with any of these pods, and like now the audio downloads are good. So appreciate everybody kind of checking them out and stuff. So 100 episodes, 100,000 downloads. So it's
again, that kind of validates what you're doing.
Like I don't usually like to consider like anything too much, but when I saw that pop up, that was like, hey, cool, that's cool, man. A lot of people are checking it out, a lot of people are interested in it, and we did have a couple like really peak episodes that had quite a few downloads, so that was kind of cool to see that, and some of them weren't like maybe guests that you would think would have a massive like return, or like a bunch of people downloading or like listening to it. So it was really cool to see that people like one of our most downloaded episodes ever was with Tyler Lowy putters. So he like is one of only 2 people on the planet to hand mill his putters completely. So, and it just got a massive amount of downloads, and it was so cool to kind of see that come up. And like he was saying, like asking how it was going, and I was like, man, like it is just like a lot of people are checking it out. So, and I know that he got a few people.
Me and Chris, it was on a Sunday, and I kind of looked over and I said, so how's the podcast doing? And he says, I don't really know. And then
Yeah.
like literally the next day he sent me that email of 500 downloads. And for us, that's a milestone for us, because again, we're not full time, and like some of our guys that we do this with is like, Alvin, that's a little more than family and friends downloading your pod, right? And I was like,
For sure.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
So
man.
and again, this is fun, man. Just sitting down
Yeah.
chatting with guys like this, and we're gonna keep this going as long as we can and have some fun with it.
It's all the same purpose, right? Just trying to kind of, connect with people in the community.
Yeah,
Make this
and
game so cool.
one of these days we're gonna play around the golf together too.
One of these days, man,
One of
we
these
definitely
days.
will. We will.
And then you can definitely see firsthand why one of my nicknames is Dead Putt.
Yeah, and you can see why I shoot a 33-48. For anybody stuck with us this long, you can have the math, 33-48. So you can see how that happens too. You'll be like, oh man, this guy is a plus handicapper on the front, and he is he's a hacker on the back. What a good way to end it. That was perfect, man.
Yeah, buddy. All right, man. Again, I appreciate your time, dude. I enjoy talking to you, and let's just stay in touch.
Absolutely, Alvin. All the best to you guys, man. Looking
Same
forward
to
to
you,
the
bud.
tour next year.
Yeah, man. We'll hook up before that starts again next year.
Yeah, man, for sure.
All right, buddy. Take care.
You too.